Hi everyone. In this session of Mind Map, we will be discussing or revising the second week changes of the embryo. This week is known as, popularly known as the week of twos. Why it is called week of twos, we will see, and then we will go one by one. It is called week of twos because the trophoblast layer, that is the outer cell mass, will be dividing into two layers. It starts in the late stage of first week, but the properly getting into two distinct layers is occurring in the second week, and it becomes more functional in the second week. The layers are, the trophoblast is getting divided into cytotrophoblast and syncytial trophoblast. The embryoblast also getting divided into two layers, hypoblast and epiblast. There will be two cavity formation, one is amniotic cavity and the other one is yolk sac cavity. There will be formation of two membranes, that is from the epiblast layer, amnion, which will be lined by amnioblast cells, and the other one develops from the hypoblast layer, that is Houser's membrane, which will be lining the blastocyst cavity. And the extraembryonic mesoderm, which is formed later, and that will be also divided into two layers by the development of extraembryonic coelom. The layers are somatopleuric extraembryonic mesoderm and splangnopleuric extraembryonic mesoderm. That is why it is called week of twos. Now the implantation, which started in the late stage of first week, will get completed by 8th day. It starts by 6th day by the penetration or penetrating capacity of the syncytial trophoblast, and it will get fully penetrated into the endometrium by 8th day. The defect in the endometrium through which it entered will be closed by a fibrinous plug by 10th day, and the epithelium will regrow over this fibrinous plug by 12th day. So by 12th day it is completely inside the endometrium, not identifiable from outside. Now we'll take one layer and see the changes happening. The trophoblast will be dividing into cytotrophoblast. This is the cytotrophoblast. It is inner mitotically active mononucleated layer. Mitotically active, it undergoes cell division, active cell division, and it is mononucleated layer. Now the second layer is the syncytial trophoblast. Syncytial trophoblast is the outer multinucleated cell mass which develop from the cytotrophoblast. It doesn't have any distinct cell boundary. This has the capacity to penetrate into the endometrium. So it by penetrating into the endometrium, it also erodes the maternal capillaries and uterine glands and maternal capillaries. There will be spaces forming within the syncytial trophoblast. Into these, when the syncytial trophoblast erodes the glands and the capillaries, the blood and the secretions will be flowing into these spaces and filling these spaces, and this process is called this process establishes the primordial uteroplacental circulation. This provides nutrition to the developing embryo. Now the syncytial trophoblast also secretes HCG, that is human chorionic gonadotropin. This is the level of this hormone is the basis of pregnancy test, and also it maintains the corpus luteum up to 3 months. After 3 months, the placenta takes over the function. So that is about the trophoblast. Now we will see the embryoblast. Embryoblast also gets divided into two layers. Hypoblast, that is the cuboidal cell layer, lower cuboidal cell layer, which forms the roof of the blastocyst cavity. Now the second layer is epiblast layer, that is the columnar cell layer. From the periphery of these two layers, this is the bilaminar embryonic disc. Now the embryo is bilaminar, and from these two layers, from the periphery, cells migrate along the inner aspect of the cytotrophoblast. The epiblast cells forms amnion. Amnion will be lined by amnioblast cells. The amnioblast cells are here. Later it will become amniocytes. These cells secrete amniotic fluid. It will get collected between the cytotrophoblast and the epiblast and forms the amniotic cavity. The second cavity formed is the yolk sac cavity. The hypoblast cells migrate from the periphery along the outer aspect of the initial blastocyst cavity and forms the Husser's membrane, which will be lining the initial blastocyst cavity. But after the formation of Husser's membrane, this cavity will be known as primitive yolk sac cavity or primary yolk sac cavity. Primitive yolk sac cavity or primary yolk sac cavity after the formation of Husser's membrane. Now about the hypoblast layer. Hypoblast will secrete Husser's membrane. From the periphery of hypoblast, the Husser's membrane will start forming, and that will be lining the blastocyst cavity, and that is called after this formation of Husser's membrane, the cavity, the initial cavity of blastocyst is called primary or primitive yolk sac cavity. Now this Husser's membrane starts secreting extraembryonic mesoderm between the cytotrophoblast and the Husser's membrane, and that will be covering the entire embryo. That will be covering the entire embryo means it will be covering the yolk sac cavity as well as the amniotic cavity. Now within this extraembryonic mesoderm, spaces appear, and these spaces coalesce to form or join to form a single cavity, that is here, that is called exocoelomic cavity. Now this exocoelomic cavity is not extending into the into one part of extraembryonic mesoderm that is lying at the caudal region of the embryo. Now this part which remains connected to the connecting the trophoblast and the embryoblast here, trophoblast here, is known as connecting stalk. It is called connecting stalk. This later it will become umbilical cord. Now after this formation, the extraembryonic mesoderm, after the formation of exocoelomic cavity, the extraembryonic mesoderm will be divided into two layers, outer layer and inner layer. The outer layer is called a somatopleuric extraembryonic mesoderm, and the inner layer is called splangnopleuric extraembryonic mesoderm. Now after this formation, the hypoblast cells forms another layer along the inner aspect of the primary yolk sac cavity, and the primary yolk sac cavity will be pinched off, and this will be seen as exocoelomic cyst. The second cavity which is formed by the hypoblast is called secondary yolk sac cavity. Secondary yolk sac cavity or definitive yolk sac cavity. So another layer will be formed from the hypoblast along the inner aspect of the primary yolk sac cavity, and that will be known as secondary or definitive yolk sac cavity. The primary yolk sac cavity will be pinched off, and that will be known as extracoelomic cyst. Now the chorion. Chorion is formed by three layers. the outer part of the extraembryonic layer, that is the somatopleuric extraembryonic layer, cytotrophoblast and syncytial trophoblast. Together it is known as chorion. Now what is chorion? Chorion forms the fetal part of the placenta. Chorion forms the fetal part of the placenta. So the chorionic villi developing in these three layers. The layers are somatopleuric extraembryonic mesoderm, cytotrophoblast and syncytial trophoblast. Now we'll see this is the extraembryonic mesoderm, cytotrophoblast and syncytial trophoblast. The cytotrophoblast cells proliferate at certain places and it forms cellular columns like this into the syncytial trophoblast, and this stage it is called primary chorionic villi. Later stage, the extraembryonic mesoderm grows into this cytotrophablastic shell columns, and then it is called secondary secondary chorionic villi. So that is the primary chorionic villi are forming in the second week, and secondary chorionic villi starts developing, but it gets completed by in the third week. So these are the changes occurring in the second week of development. It is called week of twos because of all these changes. Then implantation gets completed. The trophoblast changes we have already discussed. The embryoblast changes we have already discussed, and the chorion will be formed in the second week of development. Thank you for listening.